Hello, I'm Bob Schieffer, and welcome to the CBS Evening News online edition. Just ahead, getting away from a powerhouse named Rita. John Roberts reports on evacuation efforts in Texas. Also, you met a couple recently who opened their Houston home for Katrina victims. Now they have become evacuees themselves. And imagine this. Many of those passengers on that crippled JetBlue plane watched most of the drama unfold on their seatback TVs. It's all starting now on the CBS Evening News online edition. For the people who escaped to Texas from New Orleans, it is an unbelievable nightmare. But tonight, it is a nightmare they are sharing with the Texans who took them in. They are all on the move now as another hurricane, Hurricane Rita, churns toward the Texas coast. Rita did weaken some today to a Category 4, but it remains an extremely dangerous storm, with sustained winds now of 145 miles an hour. Hurricane warnings are up along much of the coast of Texas and Louisiana tonight. The latest projections show Rita heading for landfall sometime tomorrow around Galveston, the most likely strike zone there in red. We've deployed the full resources of CBS News, correspondents, producers, camera crews all along the coast, and we'll begin with John Roberts in Texas City. John?
And Bob, even though it's a beautiful day with just a light breeze blowing at this point, they're not taking any chances here. This town that I'm in right now, just outside of Galveston, is a ghost town tonight. As Hurricane Rita moves in, just about everyone is moving out.
It is an exodus on a scale the Texas governor claims has never been seen before. Some 2 million people on the road.
If you're in this storm's path, you need to get gone.
The interstates are tied up for 100 miles. There's a rush to board up homes and get moving, get cash and get out. Gassing up was another issue.
Waiting here 2.5 hours. You hear that, people? 2.5 hours.
14 hours in traffic jams was too much for some. This Texas City woman turned around and came back home.
Frustration, exhaustion, and confusion. You know, what are we going to do now?
Those who gave up or are holding out are rare. From the air, the southern suburbs of Houston and coastal communities look eerily barren.
Looking along the shores here of Galveston Island, you can see the earliest effects of Hurricane Rita. There used to be a beach out here, and you can see now that it's pretty well covered by water. The waves are rolling in. They look to be about 4 or 5 feet at this point. But as the hurricane gets closer, they're going to get much larger than that. And this seawall that's built over here on the side of this road that runs along the beach looks to be only about 14 or 15 feet high, which when the storm surge comes along could easily be breached by these waves.
Rita could reshape the landscape all along the coast. This part of Galveston Island wasn't here before Carla in 1961. The sand scooped up and moved miles, says meteorologist Jill Hasling.
The places that are behind the seawall, there would be some of it left. The homes out on West Galveston, depending on where it makes landfall, could be destroyed.
In New Orleans, newly dried out after the devastation of Hurricane Katrina, the fear is of rain. It's already coming down there. More than 6 inches could breach the fragile levees and put the Big Easy back underwater.
We're hoping and praying that all of our people will evacuate so that search and rescue efforts will be limited.
And unlike Hurricane Katrina, where the federal response fell so terribly short, FEMA officials say this time they'll be ready.
It is the worst of times that can bring out the best in human nature, and we have one such example tonight. A Houston woman who opened her home to people who had escaped Hurricane Katrina because they had no place else to go now finds herself on the move tonight. Here is Trish Regan in Houston.
Hey, Brandon.
For Houston resident Tracy Cox, Hurricane Rita brings an unexpected twist of fate.
I didn't think this was ever going to happen.
That she, who had sheltered so many Katrina victims in her own home, is becoming an evacuee herself.
I've lived here in this area all my life, and I've sat through all kinds of storms, and I've never been afraid, and all of a sudden I'm afraid.
Afraid for her children and the New Orleans evacuees living with her.
They're already scared, so that adds to my anxiety, because all they hear is hurricane, Category 5, floods, evacuate.
We first met Tracy just as she had taken in 3 evacuee families from the Houston Astrodome.
And they all had small children. And one of them's pregnant. She's 8 months pregnant. And I just couldn't send them back in there. I couldn't. Me and my husband just looked at each other and said, "Come home with us, all of you."
So overnight, the Cox family nearly tripled in size. They played together and prayed together.
God, thank you for this food.
2 of the families have since moved on, but the Simons are still with Tracy, and Stephanie is about to give birth any day.
I can't tell you how many people called and told me to, send them to a shelter and y'all come here. And I was like, I can't do that to them. They're part of our family now.
So at 3 o'clock this morning, Tracy, her children, and 6 of Katrina's evacuees prepared for a grueling journey out of Houston.
I think we're good to go.
They have no idea where they'll stay or how long they'll be gone.
Somewhere between here and Lubbock we'll get lucky.
Tracy, who provided so many with hope after Katrina, is finding the strength to fight Rita.
You know, I love you, sister.
They don't know how this will end, but they're a family now, and they'll face it together. Trish Regan, CBS News, Houston.
Well, if your office is like ours, everyone was asking the same question today. Did you see those pictures on TV last night? A crippled jetliner that had just taken off from Burbank, California, circled the skies for hours till the pilot could attempt an emergency landing. It was real, it was live, and in the ultimate reality show, among those watching were the people on board. Here is Jerry Bowen.
As JetBlue Flight 292 circled above Los Angeles, nose gear turned sideways, burning off fuel for an emergency landing, pilot Scott Burke was the voice of calm.
Split line 25 left, JetBlue 292.
And as millions of television viewers witnessed the landing, the safe but fiery punctuation to the ordeal, relieved passengers said they'd been watching most of it too, watched their fates played out on seat-back TV monitors.
So here is the breaking news on the television in the seat in front of me. This is what I'm watching as I'm in midair.
27-year-old Zach Mastoon captured the anxious moments on his digital camera.
And this is me being hopeful that I'm not going to die in a big meatball of fire.
Everyone was hoping.
That's really what makes everyone nervous, is the fact that you can actually watch what's going on the news and, and you're actually in the airplane.
The monitors were turned off 10 minutes before landing, as passengers, a few in tears, braced in the crash position for the outcome.
When they had us get into our positions and, I was just, wow, I can't believe this is it, this is do or die time.
It was amazing how good the pilot did this landing. I've had rougher landings on flights without problems.
As dramatic as the 3-hour odyssey was, its cause may have been surprisingly simple. A maintenance mistake, say aviation experts. If so, it's not the first time it's happened on the Airbus 320.
Since 1999, there have been at least 6 similar incidents, 4 in the United States, including another JetBlue plane.
When you've got a series of what appear to be similar failures, you really want to take a closer look at it. The NTSB and FAA, I'm sure, will be doing that.
Investigators say the jet's black boxes will tell them what went wrong with Flight 292's nose gear. For now, there are 146 passengers and crew who know what went so very right. Jerry Bowen, CBS News, Los Angeles.
More stories are just a click away, but don't forget to join me on television for the on-air edition of the CBS Evening News on Friday's broadcast as Hurricane Rita takes aim on the Gulf Coast. Will the region be ready for another onslaught? We'll have complete team coverage. For CBSNews.com, I'm Bob Schieffer.